Welcome to Hallar. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I like it. We have 3 lands in the hand. I'd like to have a little bit more ramp, but I think we can make this work. But we'll go and keep on this one. We're on the draw too, so hopefully we draw into something good. But yes, welcome to Hallar. Hope you're excited. Hope you're excited for some +1 encounters and some kickers. Maybe you're a kicker at home. I don't know what that means. Trample. Whenever you cast, maybe you just really. You're one of those magic people that just really enjoys a kicked magic spell. I don't know why. I enjoy a really good graveyard card from time to time. A reanimator spell. Maybe you're just a really huge fan of kicker. Here's your deck, and this is the deck. They made it for you. Let's see. Draw into force. Let's go to get down command tower. Do we want to go? Yeah, nothing else. We're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. We're playing Hallar, the Firefletcher. Trample. Whenever you cast a spell, if that spell is kicked, put a +1 counter on Hallar. Then Hallar deals damage equal to the number of +1 counters on it to each opponent. Playing against Atraxa, Praetors voice, so we'll see what we're up against here in a second. Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, and Lifelink. Then at the beginning of your end step, Proliferate. So we'll see if it's Super Friends or if it's just kind of maybe more of a traditional build or something like that. Let's go ahead and go for Forest. Let's go and tap out for Lightning Greaves. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, as far as next turn goes, probably going to end up tapping out for Hallar. If we do end up getting Lightning Greaves down, that does keep us off Blessings of Nature for this point right now. But with us at least having Viridian Emissary in the hand and the Chronicler in the hand too, we can kind of shift it over there, go for Blessings of Nature, and then kind of go from there. We cover both commanders, just free time. We can talk about whatever we want. That's going to be Hallar. Oh, also, I want to highlight this. Hallar is a... what just happened? What is? Oh, Thespian stage. Okay, I got worried that they were destroyed one of our lands or something for a second because I was looking away. That always happens sometimes. Let's go and get down Firelit Thicket. Yeah, no, I don't know why. That just always happens. Let's go ahead and go for Firelit Thicket. Let's add double green off that one. Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. Red's fine on that one. We'll go green. It'll make Hallar extra angry. Going to cast Hallar. There we go. It's not registering clicks or something. It's going to put the Lightning Greaves onto Hallar. It's going to swing across for 3. That will put our opponent down to 27, and that will be 3 total commander damage. So we're going to get that first get that first blood on this one, and then anything else we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, as far as the deck goes, Hallar is a lot of fun to pilot. It is a little clunky sometimes. If you're playing against a really heavy control deck. Hallar is really not going to shine. If you have a lot of time to kind of set stuff up, that's where Hallar really does some really good work. It is what it is. Hallar is kind of more of a tier 2 commander. So if you're playing against another tier 2 commander where both of y'all are just kind of trying to set up different pieces onto the battlefield, makes for a really fun gameplay experience. And just kind of like trying to get Hallar to get those +1 counters going. Makes for some really fun gameplay. All right, drawn to Stomping Ground. Nothing that we need to get down for 4. So let's do this. Let's go and go for Hardened Scales. I think I like that. Let's go and put Stomping Ground into play tapped. Not going to pay 2 life on that one. Let's go and push in for another 3. Then we'll put them down to 22, and that will be 6 total commander damage. There we go. Swinging it for 3, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. Now, next turn, we're finally going to be online for one of our kicker spells if we want to go for that. We have Shiving Fire if we want to deal that damage up top, or if we want to go for Emissary, we can actually blast Coalition Relic. At this point right now, I think I like going for Coalition Relic because if our opponent's going to get down Atraxa, getting those counters on there, it's going to allow us to at least kind of get rid of that, and at the same time, with Hardened Scales on the battlefield, we're going to get 2 +1 counters on there. So it kind of puts us in a spot to where, depending on if they tap out one turn and we feel like it's okay for us to kind of shift Lightning Greaves onto another creature or something like that, we can go for that Blessings of Nature to get those counters on there. Because that ended up being about 8 counters on Hallar once we get it on there with Hardened Scales. And that's kind of allows you to win the game. That's how you win with Hallar, is using stuff like Hardened Scales and Blessings of Nature, kind of get that amplifying effect. Another option that, excuse me, opponent's going to get that Cornucopia, which is going to be able to get those extra charge counters on there. So we'll probably end up using the Emissary to take care of the Cornucopia. That kind of gets out of hand pretty quick. Let's go and get Forest down. I think that sounds good. Let's go and get Forest down. Let's go and go for Emissary. We're going to kick that with the 2 kicker. That's going to be red, double green. Tap out for 1 more. All right, we're going to get 2 +1 counters on Hallar. It's going to deal 2 damage to our opponent, and they'll be able to take care of that Astral Cornucopia. Now, they might have some sort of counter spell to stop it, but at least we'll still get that damage from Hallar. All right, so we're going to deal that 2 damage, not 2 damage. We're going to take care of the Cornucopia, and then we are looking at a 5/5. Do we want to push in with Hallar at this point? It's going to put them down to 14. No, let's just go ahead and pass the turn at this point right now. Our opponent might want to trade with the Atraxa, and at this point, since that's going to be us completely tapping out for Hallar again. We can go for Lightning Greaves, but Yeah, I kind of like passing the turn. I want to see if we can't get a few more +1 counters on there. Now, if we do hit the lane drop next turn, we will be online for Chronicler. If we can sequence it a little bit better, maybe we can go for Shivian Fire. That's also going to allow us to go to 4 damage to Atraxa, so we can tap out for that. And we'll see what they kind of roll out this turn. And so if we can use Shivian Fire next turn to take care of Atraxa, that's going to be 4 more counters on Hallar, and then we might be able to kind of push in then. That's going to be 2 more counters. It's going to be a 7/7. Then we're looking at 9 from Emissary, so that'll be another way for us to kind of get in a pretty good chunk of damage. Also wanted to highlight with Hallar. Hallar uses they/them pronouns, so basically they included in one of the. You know how when you buy a booster pack, they have like kind of informational cards. One of the informational cards on Dominaria was they said that Hallar uses the Elvish pronoun for they/them. You know, that they don't necessarily identify within the normal binary genders within that Elvish tribe. So I just thought that was cool, and I definitely wanted to highlight that one out there. That Hallar does it's not a he or she, it's just simply they or them, or you can refer to Hallar as they. So I thought that was really neat that Wizards did that, and I at least wanted to highlight that for the people out there if you didn't know, so that way you can kind of know, like, hey, Hallar uses they or them, or just call Hallar Hallar. All right, Pope's going to get down to Elspeth. They're going to go for +1. They can go for the -2. See if they're going to go for it. They end up going for the -2 ability, getting those tokens onto the battlefield. At this point right now, we are looking at Shivian Fire to take care of Atraxa, which is going to be okay. You know, if they want to chump block with some of these soldier tokens, with us having Trample, it's going to allow us to kind of push past that one. They will get a Proliferate trigger on Coalition Relic and Elspeth, but like I said, that's not the end of the world. All right, so we draw to Overload. Actually works really well with Coalition Relic. Is there any certain way we want to sequence this one? Yeah, let's go for, I kind of like pushing in for some damage on Elspeth. That's going to be some extra counter. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's go for Cast with 4 Kicker. We're going to choose Atraxa on this one. That's going to be us completely tapping out. It's going to be red, colorless, and then 1/2. That also puts us on next turn for being able to go for Overload on the Coalition Relic too, so I kind of like going for that. All right, so we're going to get those 2 additional +1 counters on there. It's going to take care of Atraxa. Get that fire arrow coming out of Hallar's bow. And then do we want to swing in an Elspeth? Or do we want to swing it in our opponent? That's going to be some good commander damage coming across. We're looking at a few more soldier tokens. Yeah, let's go and stop the bleeding. We're going to go and swing in an Elspeth. I mean, we're at the point now to where we've got 4 counters on there. We have a few more kicker spells. We can go for Molten Disaster, which is really going to clean up those soldier tokens. So I just want to keep Elspeth off the battlefield and make sure they don't really have any sort of options. All right, swinging at Elspeth and then anything else, we're going past the turn. If we wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, we could go for that, but when you have the +1 for each creature that you control, +2, they start to gain a bunch of life, and you know, maybe they finally do have some sort of answer for getting rid of Hallar. Kind of puts us in a spot where it's going to be hard for us to bounce back from that, especially if they do get Atraxa on the battlefield with that -5 ability. So kind of like going for that. But other than that, this is pretty much what you want to do with Hallar. You know, get down Hallar, get down something like Hardened Scale, something that's going to amplify the number of +1 counters. You know, if you're going to pay full sticker retail price for Hallar and your kicker spells, that's perfectly fine, but it's just really, really slow. So stuff like Forgotten Ancient and Hardened Scales, it just works wonder in the deck. In fact, if we draw into Solidarity of Heroes, that's another way for us to have a ton of fun with the deck too. Now, as far as next turn goes, it'd be really nice if we hit the lane drop. We're going to have Overload to go for. We can actually cast that at instant speed, so we're looking at 6 damage on that, and we can go and take care of Coalition Relic. Once we do get down Chronicler, if we do, that's going to be us getting down 6 total mana. We're going to be able to bring back one of our kicker spells, so we might actually get into a spot where we can grab Shivian Fire out of the graveyard, and that's going to be 4 damage to, target creature, excuse me. So that's at least going to allow us to take care of Atraxa again, but we'll kind of see what we want to kind of roll into. Okay, let's see what we draw into. Draw into Burst of Lightning. 4 damage to that permanent instead. So we're definitely online for that. So let's say that we go Burst Lightning up top. That's going to be 4 damage, puts them down to 13. That's going to be 2 more counters. It's going to put them down to 7. Now, what we can do is if we want to set up a really big turn, that's going to be 8 counters on Hallar. If we shift the Lightning Greaves over, our opponent's completely tapped out, so I actually kind of like going for this line of play. Even if they do gain some life, we get some good stuff in the hand. Let's go and go for Blessings of Nature on Hallar. We'll click OK. He's going to get all 4. He's hungry. Hallar is hungry, not he. Hallar is hungry. It's going to be 1/2. Let's get those 8 counters on there with Hardened Scales. It's going to make it a, let's see what All right, opponent's going to scoop it up on this one. So we're going to end up with a few more counters on there. We can push in with that trample damage. It's basically going to be our opponent blocking with all of their creatures onto the battlefield. So basically the line of play that I was trying to go for is we're going to go for Blessings of Nature. This is going to be 8+1 counters on Hallar. It is setting currently at a 7/7. So getting those, we're looking at 15 total. Actually, excuse me, that's going to be 4. It's going to be 11 total counters on Hallar. So we get that onto Hallar. We could kind of push into this board state if we wanted to, but probably not with that Death Touch. And once we get those +1 counters on there, we're looking something like Overload and then Molten Disaster for like Kicker for 4. So you definitely see where, we weren't really that heavy on lands. We weren't able to get a lot of lands on the battlefield, but simply being able to get down Hallar, get some good +1 counters going on there, really kind of helps you close the game out. Now with Hallar, we're going to end up with a lot of short games like this. So I'm going to go and post this video up. Unfortunately, you kind of get into this weird spot where Hallar either A, just gets stomped with a bunch of removal, or you get a lot of +1 counters on there really quick. So there's definitely a good showing. We did get to play against Atraxa, and you can see we're using something like Blessings of Nature, in addition to Hardened Scales, which simply just, a kicker for 3 is more than enough to kind of deal a significant chunk of damage to our opponent. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.